Welcome back. Our sincere apology for the breaking transmission there. I don't know, due to some technical hitch up here, but again, Gus is still with me. He was talking about some other issue before we have some technical hitch up here before we just went off air. But so the issue is Khan has finally returned to Maryland County as it relates to the recent demonstration there. But let's talk about other issues now, Gus, other issue like education in the county. How is it so far?
Well, Maryland County is relatively kind in terms of education. Things are on course. Primary, secondary schools are open. The students are going to school. So far, we haven't heard any report about, things that are being very unusual that may destabilize the learning activities of our students. Currently, at the level of William V. S. Tubman University, which is the government's second higher institution into this region, currently the SGA going through the time of election process. I trust you've been following activities at Tubman University. The university finally has accredited the student groupings on the campuses of Tubman University. Basically, there are two special groups. One is called Concerned Movement, and the other one is the Student Unification Alliance. So, since I've been around in Maryland County, I arrived to this place in 2017. What I've observed is that the leadership with respect to the SGA is like something like a tenure. After your turn ends, then it means you turn it over to the next, student groupings, right? For example, we have
Mhm.
Constituent and we have SUA. When I arrived at TU, the president at the time at the SGA was from the concerned background. After that president went to SUA. From that SUA, it went to concerned. From that concern, it came to SUA. Then there was some misunderstanding, a situation that led to an interim leadership. That interim leadership um, is also SUA. Currently, now we are going to
Yeah.
the election, so many students believe that apparently the result from this election definitely going to be in the interest of concerned because SUA, the previous government to this time right now was SUA, and that of the interim leadership also there are a couple of students from SUA. So now that we're going to the elections right now as I speak to you, the election process has got a few minutes to 6 o'clock, and everything going to be
Yeah.
like closed. It will start the issue of sorting and counting of ballot papers, and to come up finally with the results maybe by the grace of God tomorrow. So everything on course. The university is okay. Students completed their midterm exam, and the professors also getting set with other lessons, preparing for finals. Educational wise things are on course.
Okay. So relatively in terms of
Except
education, things are on course.
yes for Harvard. But I just made a trip to Fishtown River G. I was there for a couple of
Mhm.
days, more than a week. There are a couple of challenges in terms of education. I've observed and interacted with our colleagues there with the report we have gathered. At least about 4 schools so far in River G are seriously going through the process or challenges of teachers because of the latest information. The government of Liberia removed the name of several other teachers from payrolls for several other reasons. One has to do with the educational requirements and sometimes for
Mhm.
old age, all that kind of thing. But the interesting thing about it, which is several persons trying to talk about, the government has the right to pension or to remove whosoever need from payroll.
Mhm.
But the
What we mhm.
thing is, the schools are already in exam. Can you hear me, Mark? Mark, am I okay?
Yes, yes, I'm hearing you. It's just like certain time you were breaking in, but again, you are okay now. You are okay
So
now.
many persons are like concerned and raising up alarm. The government of Liberia has removed the name of several other teachers from payrolls and pension some other teachers. Now, if you're removing teachers from payroll, it is expedient enough because a parents of age, or overstay on the job or some other reasons, there is a need to replace them. So to speak, River G
Mm.
County is actually going through serious challenge with the issue of teachers. In fact, even the
So
WRTI. Mhm.
so are they being replaced? I mean, or retired by the government, and are being replaced with other instructors, or with other new instructors, or because of their long stay on the job? Is this why they are letting them to go?
There are said there are several factors for which government came down with the decision. One of the reasons why government removing teachers from on payroll, one has to do with teachers who have worked in the system and have overstayed and maybe over. I mean, they are aging, right? Because there is a duration in
Mhm.
the terms of labor. You got to work for a certain period of time. And if that time elapsed, it means that automatically that institution has the right to pension you, especially per your age being signed in with your HR, whatever. Another reason is that the government is trying to clean up the payrolls across the country, especially in the sector of education and other institutions. And then there are other people who apparently, so to speak, for example, they are not the actual person bearing the name or representing whatever. So there are several other names being placed on government payrolls. So government removing the names, whether the person physically or that ghost name or whatever name, pension people, and now replacing them. This has created serious embarrassment and a condition for schools in River G. So several other schools in River G are going through challenges, while other teachers are there teaching, providing good time and services, but they are not being placed on payroll. Instead, they are volunteers. Many persons are
Okay.
saying most teachers who are serving as volunteers are not prudent enough, especially when they have or meet the requisite or required qualification. The government of Liberia needs to see reason to have the teacher being placed on payroll rather than they being into the system teaching. And people got to take care of their family. So those are some of the things that brings
Yeah,
in
yeah,
corruption, bad
definitely, definitely.
corruption and bad practices in our school. If you have this young man teaching the school and he's not on payroll and he's qualified, but he's teaching as a volunteer, he's not taking anything home, definitely you're going to be exploiting the children financially. You'll be exploiting the children from several other means, which is actually against the ethic of education. WRTTR, that's the Weber Rural Teacher Training Institute, that has been in
Mm.
existing. It was established 1960s, according to what we have gathered. That
Mm.
institution, so to speak, was the
It's a
purpose of
very old institution. A very old
yes,
institution, over 60
yeah,
years old.
yeah. It was established, but not to say it's actually being active and moving on. My understanding is that since after the war, there was some situation that made Weber Institute was not actually on until somewhere around lately, I think in 1999 or 2000 something, and it was being revamped. Now, there is an interesting history of the WRTTR institution. According to what we have gathered, because River G County Senator Comley B. Weiser, along with the Swedish ambassador and the UNFPA delegates and that of a BRAC, those are partners working in line or implementing partners for the Swedish embassy, right? Or the Swedish government.
Yeah,
Because I just been
yeah.
following the report that the Swedish government actually has been contributing immensely to Liberia even before the war. So the Swedish
Mhm.
government is actually doing our best in several other institutions and sectors of our country. So the Swedish ambassador now was embarking on a county tour and she made a stop in Fishtown River G. We were extended invitation to go to Fishtown River G to provide coverage about the activities. So we interacted and gathered some information. There is something that is so much interesting about WRTTI for which I want to share with you. According to the history,
Mhm.
what we have one of the reasons why that institution was being established, it has to do with for a situation of a war that fought, Syria tribal war that fought in this region. That war was between the Caesar Gribble and that of the Bush Gribble, and that war was fought between 1909 to 1913. It lasted for a couple of years. According to what we
Mhm.
have got, also former Liberia President William V.S. Tubman, his father, was also murdered into that war. He was killed right on top of that hill in Webble. WRTTI,
You giving him Gus, you giving some serious historicity, but you giving some serious historicity, but it seems that your line is breaking in, so I'm not getting it.
you
But
okay?
just continue, and
Let me
probably
take it.
gonna be better.
So what I was
Yes,
saying,
go ahead.
there is
Yeah.
so much interesting things in our country that I think needs to be recorded and the history needs to be rewritten because we want to school and some of us did not read throughout in the history of Liberia more about WRTTR, how it came about. But it will interest you to know that according to the history we gather,
Mhm.
WRTTR, that hill, because the school is being established on a hill. Apart from Putu Mountain in the southeast, as tend to be corrected, that hill is one of the tallest hills so far in this region.
Mhm.
So there was a tribal war that was from 1909 to 1913. That war was between the
Mhm.
two Grebo tribes in this region. In the southeast, we have the Bush Grebo and we have the Seaside Grebo. The Seaside Grebo and the Bush Grebo fought a serious tribal war, and the Bush Grebo people were like using that WRTTR region as their base, where they were like launching, and then they planted the banana plantee, right? They planted
Mhm.
sufficient plantee, like a plantation. So their belief and interpretation is that the plantee, when the plantee you fire or shoot gun, the gunshot,
Mhm.
the bullets will hitch into the I call it the plantee, right? You understand what I'm trying to say? The plant, because
Yeah, that
the
that's
shot
very
cannot easily,
amazing.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
the shot cannot easily penetrate the planting tree, right, or the banana tree or whatever. So they were using that
Mhm.
as a protection, and they were also on top of the hill. And you know, when you are on top of the hill, you'll be able to see to farther distances. If your enemy, whosoever coming to you, you will see them. So before your enemy
Mhm.
discover your position, you already conquered them. So that's how they were managing, and they fought that war for a period of time, and several persons died into the process. Our people killed themselves. Unfortunately, former Liberal President William V. Stockman's father was also killed on that same hill. So that
Wow.
when they see some Grebo people pushing to go closer, because they didn't know that the people were on top of the hill, so they started to creep at night. So at certain time, the guys got so annoyed again when they created, they called down BB trees, that log, and tie with rope and chain. When the people trying to climb the hill too, then they will release the rope, and the rope will start to the law will roll and fell and start to roll on top of people, and several persons in that history, the people died. Now, by the grace of God, when President William V. Tubman now finally became a president of our country, Liberia, he has decided to erect WRTTI, to construct it with the sole purpose to change the narrative that that area should be a historic site, not necessarily for
Mhm.
war, but instead there should be a learning center, which will bring people from all
Wow.
parts of the region, people coming from the southeastern part of our country, because the former president meant, I mean, idea was, once our people are fully educated, they will have positive perception, positive plans, and positive intentions about doing things. They will not want in any way to support war in our country. But he believed that because Liberians were not given the opportunity to learn fully, so because of several other reasons, they went into the fight. So the former Liberal President William V. Sherman decided to construct WRTDI to create opportunity for our brothers and sisters, our fathers, will converge to that place as boarding students, whatever, go there and have at least a rural training, something to be able to
Change your
help to
mind.
change the
Mhm.
narrative to come and contribute to the
Well, I mean, it's been a very
education
much
sector of our country.
fantastic.
And that it was moving on very well. And unfortunately, when the war came, it disrupted almost everything in our country and put a back war. So under the regime, that was 2000, yeah. Mara Ellen Johnson Sirleaf became president in 2005. So okay, that was
Yeah.
previously before Mara Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Yes, that was after Chancellor, former Liberal president, was 1997. So between 1999 and 2000, they started with that WRTTI. So when Mara Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took over as a president now, she also, her government, but international partner, also provided sufficient funding to support education across the country. But as I speak to you right now, the WRTTI now, according to what we have gathered for a couple of years, like 1 or 2, 3 years now, the institution has been down, and the people are going through serious challenges, even when doing the school were open. At that hill, according to what we noticed, we are interacting with the people. The people don't have water to that place because the place is a hill. So for them to get drinking water, they will have to come down that hill, brother. I'm telling you, I experienced it. To walk from that hill to come down, it's not for joke. It's a serious pain you will go
Wow.
through. To suffer, they are suffering with the issue of water. So even if that institution be
So
revamped and be,
it means Gus, it means as we speak, the school is not functional.
certainly right, they got Scarlington staff there, and it's not as active. You know, the school been down. It has not been so active. It has not been so effective. So the Swedish ambassador was the one who actually requested to know more about the history about WRTTI, because when she interacted with the residents, and then she also spoke about the feminist foreign policy. According to her, her current foreign affairs minister in her country was also who is was a politician, and she been in government for more than 40 years. Every time she visited conferences and went for international meetings, she noticed that women were not sufficient in attendance, and women were not, like, so to speak, not being given the opportunity to express themselves and to be heard. So when she became successful now in government, and then she decided to introduce the feminist foreign policy.
Yeah.
This policy that is centered between a country and country relationship, and also to emphasize on the importance of women empowerment, women support, and education for a good society. So she decided to emphasize on this issue because the Swedish government has been involved into several other projects and activities through their implementing partner, the UNFPA, the BRAC. So in fact, even in Rivergy, there is one school called Tuajekle. Tuajekle is a high school that is in the center of Fishtown. That school there there was a heavy storm and wind that came and demolished or de-roofed that school. That school was down. Students could not go to school for a period of time. And then the parents, the students, they still try, and the county official tried. There was no way to help. But then when UNFPA got involved into the process, they were able to continue to do a I call it renovation, and they have made that school to be very beautiful right now. It's okay. The school has resumed normal activities. People are going to school, but few of the teachers are complaining they are now on payrolls. So Ambassador Komle B. Wisse, who is also the senator of River G County, according to what we have gathered, who has also been one of the senators from River G advocating for the county and Liberia, he also met with the Minister of Education, appealing that the government needs to see reason. Instead of the schools closing down, the government needs to see reason to empower Liberians and build the capacity of teachers, and also replace those teachers that they have removed from payrolls, so that the school cannot close down because the student needs to. So he also spoke about it that when he returned to Monrovia, he's going to raise up a serious issue with the colleagues, so that he can put it for debate and discussion, that the government needs to support every hour. Because if the government putting down teachers because they are not qualified, and you have every RTD that is just in the region, it is prudent enough, because the education policy is saying that the minimum qualification for you to be a classroom teacher should be at least C certificate. So WRTTI, which is their purpose to give C certificate and B certificate to teachers, the government needs to put sufficient funding in all of the learning institutions, higher learning institutions like WRTTI, the William V. S. Tubman University, the Grand Julius County University in this region, and several others and colleges in Liberia that are owned by government. The government of Liberia should be able to support education. So in raising up the issue, he's going back to session to discuss with the colleagues to talk about education, especially emphasizing on rural development. Because the country is not just Maserado. Liberia is not just Maserado. The government should not focus all on Maserado, but should also think about rural parts of Liberia. Because we interest you to know that there are good students coming from the rural parts of our country. So that interesting story from River G County.
Yes, very much interesting, man. Gus, you gave me some historicity that many of us were not aware of yet. But again, thank you. So let's talk about other issue. Politics. We know that Maryland County already had her senator after some delay on certification. So how I say in terms of politics in Maryland County.
Well, before we go into politics, mid of last week, the local authorities in Maryland, headed by its superintendent, Honorable George April, received a team from Liberia Airport Authority. They visited Maryland County, specifically went to a town called Fishtown, Rocktown, along the Little Rebel area in River G. Another historic important information is that William Ara Tobert, former Liberia's President William Ara Tobert, embarked on a project to construct Liberia's second larger airport in Rocktown. And my understanding is that because of the war, that airport was actually being hot. Normal activities was being halted, but the government of Liberia has provided the opportunity to send an assessment team, and the team visited and did serious assessment. And very soon, according to what we have gathered, the project is going to kick off so that Liberia right now is going to have the second largest airport will be in Maryland County, specifically in the Rocktown Belt. Residents of Rocktown actually expressed serious thanks and appreciation to the government of Liberia, led by Dr. George Manawia, and partners for taking the direction, because if that airport is being completed, trust me, according to what we know, is going to create a serious job opportunity for several Liberians into the South, because, like I said, the second largest airport. So just think about Roberts International Airport in Liberia. You know we have
Yes,
good
and
number
then
of RIA working,
so
and they are
currently it means that we, guys, currently it means that we don't have any airport that is near the standard of RIA in Liberia.
well, we can say that, but yeah, it's not up to standard. No airport in Liberia apart from RIA
No,
is
no,
actually
yeah,
up to.
yeah. To admit, actually, to admit, actually,
There
yes,
is no
I think
airport in
I'm
Liberia
right.
up to standard. Yeah, there is no airport in Liberia up to standard. All of the airstrips we have in the country, they are not up to standard in terms of size, in terms of infrastructures, in terms of manpower, and you just name the rest of it. They are not up to standard to Roberts International Airport. So it means that this airport, when completed, is going to be Liberia's second largest airport in this country, and it's going to be in this region, specifically in Rocktown. Many persons are grateful to that. So the government of Liberia has provided opportunity, and that assessment was made in Rocktown and was actually completed successfully.
Okay, so we have just 10 more minutes to go, but let's talk a little. Let's just talk a little bit about what's going on in terms of politics. We know that the senator for that county uh, has been certificated, and then he has taken seat already. So why is has there been any issue about what development in terms of in relation to politics, to the politicians in the country?
Well, except for Upper District, I can give you a little information about why the two we are not closer to a political time than 2023, but there are still other young guys
Mm.
gearing up and warming up and seeing how it looks like. Some have been petitioned, and some are trying to acquaint themselves with the people of Maryland, Upper District, to contest for the 2023 election. While some, for instance, the Upper
Mm.
District Representative Honorable P. Marjorie also would like to be re-elected. But then the current
Mm.
Harper Port manager, William Debbie Wallace, who recently officially joined the CDC, is also contested into a series of elections. In fact, the election that brought Honorable P. Marjorie on board as a representative, the sport manager
Yeah.
now came second to Honorable P. Marjorie, and he has been really, really working. He has been doing his best. And recently, I'm told that a few other young people went to his home and petitioned him. And there are a couple of guys from other towns in Harper are planning to do an official petition statement to him for him to contest for this 2023 elections. Honorable P. Marjorie has been visiting the county. He has been making some significant impact. In fact, in the history of Maryland County in Harper District, he was one of the highest donors during the coronavirus
Mm.
outbreak in the country. In Harper, I think we reported that he was one of the highest donors in Harper District in Maryland. He distributed or he released more than 1,000 plus bags of rice, including several other, sanitizer, different stuff. I mean, he was the highest donor in this region. Many persons are looking up to the political issue concerning 2023 in Maryland. For Harper District, I can tell you
Mm.
for it's not going to be for joke. There are other names coming up. We got one Jonathan Hammer, who is a district commissioner in Harper. He also many persons like looking up to him. Young people have petitioned him. You got several other names. We got another lady who is also working at Tubman University. I just forgotten her name right now. Okay, Salome, Sister Salome. She expressed interest to contest into the election. So there are several other things, but relating to the
Okay,
senator,
no, yeah,
Bunny.
but what I was actually trying to say was that the issue about maybe sometimes when leaders are elected new day, people talk about him. Barney has been once upon a time a lawmaker, and then he was been given another opportunity to go. I just want to say what has been some of the talks around.
Well, the Marylanders were actually, in fact, on a delay of Senator Barney being certificated and to take over his office. Excuse me. Residents of the county were seriously far about the issue, and there were a couple of talks and posts on the social media that they overwhelmingly supported James Barney, and he won the election. There should be no delay, and that should see reason to certificate him. Any other issue they can discuss it, but it should take time. To be very frank with you, in Maryland County, in Harper District, he served in a position as a representative for like 2 terms, and partly maybe 3 terms because he like 2 or 3 years,
Yeah,
right?
2 10 years. Yes,
What
he
we
was there in 2005 in the interim government.
we have gathered in Harper District, the history of Harper, there were other representatives before James Barney came. But to be very frank to you, he's one of the lawmakers from Maryland County that has made significant impact in several other ways. Infrastructure development, the landmarks, you can see it very clear. Impacted several residents of Harper District. Educational wise, people have benefited from his scholarship, even the health sector. That was his time as representative. So there are so many things he did. Recently, when we won this election, to be very frank with you, he has not really started doing anything, but there was a team, couple of the supporters came from Monrovia and the guys on the ground. They did serious assessment in the town where Senator James Kofi Barney first informed the people of Maryland that the senator has a plan to move on with some solar plates in other parts, rural parts of Maryland, to ensure that these are to be beautiful, to be electrified, and all that kind of stuff. And then he also has negotiated with some partners to come at a GSM company. Another Lone Star or Second, stand to be corrected, but one of them, he has started negotiating to carry power into rural parts of Maryland, like the Barobo, like the Callaway area, Backtown, that may not actually have access to network fluently, I mean effectively. So there are a couple of things that we've been hearing around, but he has not come to the county. He should have come to the county for the Easter, according to what his friends had all around. But you know, he was going through that couple of challenges with the interest certification and to take over his office. So the honest thing is that he could not come because there was so many disruptions.
But because it been over 2 weeks now since he got certificated. Why is it that he hasn't been able to go there, to go back?
But you know now, they think Maryland is not like Maggie. Trying to defend the senator, but deplorable road condition in the place so difficult. The road is bad, it's not accessible, so many challenges, and you're taking over new office where your friends have worked for maybe 1 or 2 months going there, and he was not a senator before, he was a representative. I mean, it's a new area, and I think he has to prepare himself thoroughly, prepare himself adequately, get himself adjusted. But everything has time. Everything has time. Maybe when the time comes for him to visit the county, maybe he's going to visit the county. But I've been heard about he coming to the county, but he has not come to the county, to be very frank with you. But the only celebration, the only thing the people are
okay, guys, is there any other issue? If there's no any other issue, we want to say thank you as always for the work you continue to do for the people of Liberia, for Maryland, Grand Jide, I mean the Southeast as a whole, Liberia, for such volunteer work that you continue to do using your own resources to ensure that information coming out of those places are heard on the international scene. I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you, Comer, and thanks so much for the work you're doing. I also like to say congratulations to the CEO for every support. I must appreciate you. You guys are doing well, and we are on the standby to ensure that our people around the world will get credible, factual, and balanced information from this part of the country.
Thank you so much for your information. Our man Augustine Young there on the line from Maryland County, Harper City to be specific. He's been giving some detailed information about happiness in the area. We're going to take a quick break to get some commercial here from our partners.
Welcome to Uncle Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Woodland. They are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dry fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have deeper, we have fufu, we have the refrigeration center, then we also have cosmetics. This is a place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach to Uncle Musa's Groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. It's the only store, a grocery store, that deals with African stuff. Anything African things you can get in Uncle Musa's store. I am from Igbo in Nigeria. So, ndị Igbo dum, onye ọbụla wụ onye Igbo, ya bịa na Uncle Musa's store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. Ọ ebe ọ ga-enweta anything we ihe ndị Igbo na-eri.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The business, we have a business on grocery store or African food, all West African food from Liberia, mostly Liberian food. And we have a palm oil imported from Liberia, and we have a very good customer service. If a customer buy from Uncle Musa Grocery, you get bonus certain times, and things are very reasonable. We have a good palm oil. Anything you want from Africa, West Africa, you can get it from Uncle Musa Grocery. We do retail and wholesale. So you can visit, we have a couple of stores in Philadelphia. We have one on 6523 Woodland Avenue, and another one is a clothing store on 6519 and Woodland Avenue. And we have another one on Upper Darby, Gary Road. So you're welcome for shopping. Everything is nice. Customer service perfect. So that's it. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Fiber Queen of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for nice African for wedding, whatever fiber you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She had really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then Nicole will be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashobi hand ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fiber Queen on Woodland, 9695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome, 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 welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high-quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry.
Have you heard the news? Well, worry no more. Cousins Photo and Video Production has been providing elegant weddings, conventions, and birthday videographic for the Liberian communities since 2006, paying attention to detail and emotion throughout the day and taking time in the editing process to create a unique video you will want to watch with family members, friends, and future generations, shooting quietly and professionally and without distracting you or your guests is vital. For more information, please contact us at 484-786-3337. That's 484-786-3337, or we can also be reached at www.cousinphotovideoproduction.com. Please tell Cousin Photo and Video Production that Asheville the Giant Golly sent.
Are you looking for a program to promote your business, products, or services? Then look no further. The Visit is your trust for you. It's a 30 minutes program with Labrador Public Radio TV. On The Visit, we promote your businesses, discover sites, showcase your products, and tell your stories. Join me, Diana, calling the Labrador Public Radio every Wednesdays and Fridays, 1 p.m. or 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Visit, bringing everything as a business.
You watching Liberia Public Radio. My name is Mark. I want to say thank you for joining us. This is how we love on today's presentation of issues of today. We've been discussing varieties of issues from Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our world. Join this program on next Tuesday for a brand new edition of issues of today. Again, we are in search for a sponsorship. If you are there, whether you in the US and you in Liberia, you want to be a sponsor of this show, we're going to be very much glad to hear from you. And of course, your products, your activities going to be promoted wherever you are. You want for this show, you want to sponsor this show. We are glad. We are global. We are in Liberia. Our offices in US and in Liberia as well. So I want to say thank you for joining today's edition of Issues of Today. For more information, you can just for live coverage or event, you can call the number on the screen there. If you are in the US, if you are in Liberia, you can call this other number. The two emails there, one for they are all for Liberia Public Radio. You can call, you can send email to those numbers, and then to those mails, and then call the numbers. We're going to definitely be getting you. So on behalf of the entire team here from our studio in Monrovia, I want to say thank you. We are now turning control over to the rest of the team in the US. Samson Branto, in Sacramento. Mr. Alfonso Zienso, thank God for your speedy recovery from COVID. It wasn't easy, but howbeit, thanks be to God for your speedy recovery. And I want to say thank you. James Momo has been my guide on camera, making sure that all of the technical stuff here are done on behalf of the entire team here from Liberia. My name is Mark Dunn, bidding you a pleasant evening. It's 6:30 p.m. in Liberia, or 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not 4 p.m., but 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to say thank you for all of your comments, suggestions that you've been making to Liberia Public Radio. We are here to stay. Keep watching Liberia Public Radio, and don't you go away. Let's end it with this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make you see. This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart and let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand.